Imagine getting paid every single month just for holding the right stocks. That's exactly what this portfolio is designed to do. In today's update, I'll show you how much income I made from ULTY, QQQI, SPYI, and SCHD as I share my income portion of my portfolio and how it's doing with the new changes that I've made. And stay tuned till the end where I show the total monthly income of all of these combined. Welcome back to Simply Money. Today we are going over the portfolio update of my income portion of the portfolio. For those that have been watching, I know I shared a few weeks ago the changes that I made when I sold out of the JEPQ, and I moved a lot of those funds into SPYI, QQQI, and then the experiment that I'm doing with a small portion into ULTY. So we're going to be updating that and showing you at the end of the month here what we got for income, what each one paid. It's a very short period, so obviously as we're just starting this journey of following these new positions, how they're doing. There's not a lot of track record on my portfolio to show much of anything other than what it did for the month. I hope you'll stay tuned to the end where I'll show the cumulative amount that each of these paid for me for the month and where that puts me. And of course, SCHD, which is a quarterly pay, will be on next month's update, which I'm excited about. I'm really looking forward to that. I'll get a chart that I'm going to show you. It will show the difference that this new update has made in my income portfolio. Let's start with SPYI. Back in July 16th, I purchased about $12,650 worth. The price was $50.84, got me 248 shares. And as you can see in here, I've done some more buying. A couple things happened. After I sold out of JEPQ and I was rebalancing my portfolio, doing a few things, I decided to put a little bit more into these than I had originally planned. So that's where you see these additional buys. And I had to wait I have two different Roths, one for myself, one for my wife, where some of this is in both of those funds or both of those accounts. So I had to wait for some of the funds to come in from one. Took a little longer than the other. Not a big deal. So I was able to buy a few more shares. You can see that on the 12th, I bought almost $12,000 and another $14,000 worth. So down here is the cumulative invested. This is the amount that I have invested, and it's going to be tracking the total dividend payments. I received the July payment of $127 off that initial $12,000. But then in August, you can see the dividend jumped up to $392.50 because of these additional purchases. So my total shares at this point are 778 shares, and I've gained 10 shares from the dividend reinvestment. So on these charts, there's going to be both. You have the dividend and the buys. I have to differentiate between those when it's coming to the amount invested. Shares gained will be based off the dividend reinvestment, not when I buy more. Those just get added in to the total shares. But what I'm tracking here is how many shares I've gained through the dividend reinvestment. And this is the value gained from the share price increase and or dividend reinvesting. That's the total gain of the portfolio. Again, it's only been a month. It could be down a couple thousand. It could be up a couple thousand. It doesn't make me lose any sleep. I'm not a short-term person. I'm not looking at this. It'll go red sometimes, especially short term. If you've watched my other videos, especially my SCHD video, you can see where it drops sometimes drastically, but then long term it goes back up. I'm in things for the long term. I don't sweat it when things dip. In fact, when they dip, I try to figure out, is there a way to invest a little bit more? I made a investment actually today for $670, so I added 13 more shares of this at the end of the day. And that's where we are with SPYI. So you can see the dividend at this point right now with what it's been paying. It paid 52 cents, 51 cents last month. If it continues paying around that, I'm almost at $400. I probably will be with this extra 13 shares. I'll be at $400 a month just from SPYI's just under $40,000 investment. That's a nice little monthly income for me. Let's jump over to QQQI and see how this one's done. So same thing, I made an initial investment of about just over $20,000. I made a couple additional along the way, and we have two dividends. We had the July dividend of 54 cents, which paid me $252, and we had the August dividend that we just received this past week, 63 cents, and that paid me $455. I've added just over 13 shares from reinvesting the dividends, which is where that snowball really picks up. You don't see it now because it's short term, but if you follow this, like I've done with my SCHD updates, if you follow this in 3-4 years, you'll see this gain shares, how that really boosts things. I've done some other videos comparing QQQ with QQQI. That'll be coming out soon. Stay tuned for that, where you can see where sometimes it is better to buy the underlying, and for other circumstances, I think it's better, or at least for some people, it's better to buy the covered call index of that. And I'll go over that in that video. But seeing this snowball effect is really powerful. Again, on this one, I've gained just over $900 in the month. Again, I don't worry about it. I don't really even care about this at this point. My total investment on this is about $38,000. When I say I don't care about this total gain, it's not because I'm like, oh, I don't care about money. I obviously am investing because I care about the growth and protection of my money in the future, but I don't worry about dips and drops and fluctuations. That's part of the stock market, and we're going to see these fluctuate, and I hope you'll follow along and stay tuned for the monthly updates as we look at this and how long-term it helps you get over those dips and not freak out in bear markets. Now let's jump over to ULTY to see what's going on here, and on this one, is a little bit more intense with the chart here. There's a lot going on. And again, in July, I bought into this as the experiment of $5,000. My cost $6.38. And like everybody, I wish I had waited till this week because the price is down quite a bit, and that would have made my cost basis a little lower, but I'm not worried about that. It got me 787 shares. And so I got my first dividend July 25th. That was the 10-cent one, paid me $81. I bought almost 13 more shares. And you can see again the next week, another 10 cents, $80. The price is down, so I was able to get a few more shares out of that. And that's where even when the NAV is down, when the stock price is down, you're getting that dividend, you're able to reinvest and get more shares. Here, when I was deciding what to do with some of the funds, this is where I decided to do some different buying. I spread this over a few days, kind of a mini dollar cost averaging if you can. You can see my costs were 607, 609, 610, 607, 605. These here this was just a little leftover in the fund. I was just threw the cash in. Now, this was a weekly investment that I'm doing. This will probably be one of the few times, these two right here, where I actually use the weekly investment that I'm doing in ULTY. From here on out, I'm just for ULTY going to be doing the drip. Most of my additional investments will be going into SCHD, SPYI, QQQI, and some of my growth funds like SCHD. So again, let's look at these dividends. For August, you had 10 cents. Then here on the 8th, you had 10 cents. The 15th, 10 cents. The 22nd, 10 cents. And tomorrow, the 29th, as of this recording, I'll get paid 9 cents. And I put in the price of closing today. I'll update this so it's accurate when we get into the next month. But this was just to give us an idea of where it would be at. It may be up or down a few cents from here when it actually buys back into it. One of my funds that has ULTY will drip it back in tomorrow, Friday. It pays my account, and Friday they reinvest it at the end of the day. My other account, I get the dividend at the end of the day on Friday, and then I will get reinvested on Monday. But this is Labor Day weekend, so it will be invested on Tuesday morning. I'll have to update what the cost of the drip is after the holiday and when that comes in, but this is going to be pretty close. This is just to give us an idea of what's going on. So you can see as obviously the quantity of my shares has increased up to 37, almost 3,800 shares. You can see how this dividend went from $80 to $350, $360, $366, $354. Already have accumulated $1,600 in dividends, and I've gained 270 shares from the reinvestments. And this is where people freaking out. Well, look, you've only total value gain is $193. That's because I'm doing the drip right now. If I wasn't doing the drip and I was using every bit of this dividend, this would be in the red. I'm not doing that right now, so that's something you have to watch. If you're thinking, oh, I'm going to get into ULTY so I can take this dividend and have this big fat divvy going on and go live it up, you have to watch this. You're going to be losing value. So this is an experiment for me doing this ultra high dividend. I'm just curious your thoughts. Just looking at this short term, it's only been a month. What do you see here that you like and don't like? Share that in the comments down below. So let's jump over here to my income portfolio. You can see this is the number of shares I have of each of these four. This is my income portfolio. You can see the price as of today and what the estimated annual dividends will be from these four funds, what that turns out to be monthly, and then the total value as of today. Still not using these, so all of these are dripping. Some of them are also being added too. I put in a little bit here and there for different additional funding of that. But that's where the income portion of my portfolio is. For those who are new to the channel, I have an income and then I have a growth portfolio. I'm only sharing the income portfolio because that's what I'm interested in when I go to retire, being able to live off dividends without touching principal, without having to sell off shares. That's my goal. That's my plan. At that time, I'll probably sell out of some of my growth and move more of it into funds like SCHD, QQQI, SPYI for more income and keeping a smaller percentage in the growth for long term. That's my plan. I want to jump over here to one more sheet that I have. So I created this sheet just to tally. So I have for August, this shows you each of the dates and what fund it was and what it paid me. You can see for those who have watched, I was debating between ULTY and MISTY, and that's where some of that extra money that you see back here that I started buying in a little bit more into ULTY because I was thinking about MISTY and ULTY and I bought both of them. And this is me. Again, this isn't financial advice. This is for educational, informational purposes only. I do what I feel comfortable with. I normally wouldn't buy into either of those, but I'm doing this really as an experiment on my YouTube channel for viewers to track it in real time with a real portfolio and see how it does. So I was thinking about MISTY. I'm just not big on the Bitcoins and all that, on cryptocurrency. So I put it all into ULTY. But I did wait until after the dividend distribution. So I gathered that one payment there. I also, before I sold out of JEPQ, I got that last dividend there as well. So this is my total dividends for August. And as you can see the total here, you can see the total of each fund. So ULTY paid $1,158, not counting MISTY and JEPQ because those are going. We have $455 from QQI, SPYI is $392, and SCHD, because it's quarterly, did not pay anything. I want to take you over here to the cumulative. So you can see each month how much I got paid in dividends. So you can see these on the chart over here, the two big months before August were my quarterly payments because of my larger portfolio holdings of SCHD. So you can see the in between, when I was getting JEPQ payments and I wasn't getting my SCHD, you can see I was down $600, $650, $700, $800. Got up to $1,000 in July. But look at this jump now that I'm at $3,000. So I'm really excited next month, September, to see these payments with the SCHD payment in there. If you go in there, you can see, let's go to June. You can see what June paid me in SCHD. So I'm excited to see what September is going to look like when we now have this new QQQI, SPYI, and ULTY added in with SCHD. So you're going to see this chart really taking off. So October won't be down here like April, May, and July. October will be up here like August. November will be up here like August. And December and September will be up here somewhere, and we're excited to see what that's going to look like with this new approach that we're taking. So that's the update of the portfolio with the changes that I've made. What are your thoughts on it? Are you still holding ULTY? Do you hold QQQI, SPYI? What are your reasons for holding them, getting rid of them, buying more of them? Share that in the comments below. Let's continue to encourage the community as we help one another reach financial independence. I appreciate you joining me, and I'll see you next time on Simply Money.